Hey coaches, what's going on? It is Coach Tim here with another video, guys, and I have a really good one for you today. I want to talk to you about offensive line play and why your offensive line is going to be the X factor with you having a winning season, a championship season, a good season, whatever you want, whatever your goal is. Your offensive line is going to set the tone for everything that you do, and we're going to talk about why having an offensive line is important, and I'm going to also talk to you guys on how to have a good offensive line, particularly what you need to focus on. All right. So before I get into this video, do me a solid, like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, guys. And I have a free training, guys, on how I average 35 points per game and also put up 72 points in my championship game. You can check that out in the description box below, guys. All right. So let's get into this video. You know, guys, I'm asked all the time, you know, what kind of blocking scheme do I use, and you know what type of what's my blocking rules and things of that nature. I'm gonna share with you what I do. But before I share what I do, I think it's really important for me to talk about why it's even important to focus on your offensive line. So some of you guys may or may not know that, you know, I'm over my youth football program. I'm also the head coach of our 12U team. And I also work with the local high school here. But one thing that I do, and I put an extreme focus on, is I focus on my offensive line. I personally coach my offensive line, and I let my other coaches focus on the skill guys, okay? I have a coach that focuses on wide receivers. I have a coach that focuses on running backs, quarterbacks, and then I focus on the offensive line, and I also focus on the linebackers on defense. All right, guys. So that's what I do. So from day one, what I do with my team, whether it's a skill guy or offensive lineman, I tell them that in order to play for me, they have to take pride in blocking and be sold out to blocking. I can care less how fast they are. I can care less with how great they can pass the ball. If they cannot effectively block for their teammate, it's going to be hard to play for me, because I believe that good offensive lines are what win championships, especially on the youth level, okay? I've seen it time and time again. I've been coaching for going on 15 years at this point now. 14 years at this point now. And every team that I've seen win championships, including my teams, we all have good offensive lines. I've not seen a team win a championship with, you know, a bad offensive line. So it's really important to make sure from day one you hit home that we're going to be committed to pass blocking, run blocking, whatever your game plan is. Okay, guys. So let's talk about what I do in terms of my blocking schemes, my blocking rules. Okay. So first things first, this is something that I think you need to incorporate into your program, is that 80% of my plays have the same exact blocking rule, okay? And I do that on purpose. I create the same blocking rule for 80% of my plays because I don't want my kids to be confused, okay? It's very simple. So the blocking rule that I usually go with is gap down backer, all right? So whatever play side we're running to, they know that their objective is to block their inside gap. If there's nobody in their inside gap, go second level, get to a linebacker that's flowing to the ball. That's 80% of the plays, okay? Because guess what? When you create a foundation of that being 80% of your plays, then you can just create these small little audibles, little tweaks there where your guys know that, okay, I know my assignment is gap down backer, but if, you know, we run in the beast formation, so if the beast back tap me on one side of the butt, I know that, okay, I'm going to zone block this time. I'm going to help double team this defensive end, or I'm going to, help double team this outside linebacker. And so my guys know already in their head if there's not an audible call or if there's not some kind of flank or anything called, they know they're going to gap down 80% of the time. The other plays to make up the 20% is really the pass plays, guys. You know, the pass blocking plays that's in there. I don't have any screen plays, but if I had any screen plays, I'd teach them how to effectively block that way as well, guys. But for me and my crew, I'm teaching my kids how to be monsters at gap blocking down, drive blocking, and then, you know, we gonna incorporate different audibles in there where it moved from drive blocking to zone blocking, things of that nature, guys. So, you know, so on day one, we're putting an emphasis on blocking technique, where your hands need to be, how your feet need to be positioned, how your stance is, how many splits you need to have. I'm focusing on all of that week one. I'm building that foundation. I want it to be strong. I want it to be sound. I want it to be very, very simple. So if, God forbid, any of my players get hurt, somebody can come right in and fill that gap. Even if it's a skill guy, they know exactly what they're doing. So coaches, you know, I know a lot of you guys, y'all new to coaching youth football, and I know some of y'all enjoy, you know, focusing on the running backs. You may have been a running back in high school, and that's your specialty. I have no problem with that. If you was a wide receiver, you want to focus on the wide receivers. You may be a QB coach. That's cool. But what I'm telling you guys is you want to make sure you got somebody in place that takes pride in coaching the offensive line, and they're good at coaching the offensive line, because you know, with every year that I'm gonna just be straight up with you. Every year that I've had a winning year, or undefeated year, my offensive line was always top notch. Okay, my blocking, not just my offensive line, but my team overall was a badass blocking team. Okay, guys, the years where I've, you know, had either 500 or I was a little bit over 500 or I have a losing season, my offensive lines was not up to par. So, and that's something I picked up. I mean, even on the high school level, guys, you know, you can just think about the high school teams at your local level. You know, think of the teams, think of the teams in your local area who are good and the ones who aren't. I can guarantee you that most of the teams that are really good in your area, they have really good offensive lines, and the ones who are mediocre, average at best, they have subpar offensive lines, you know, and it's just no way around it, guys. Okay, focus on your offensive line play. So last thing I want to address real quick, guys, because I get this a lot. You know, what if I got a small offensive line? What if I don't have a lot of big guys on my team or in my area? Listen, guys, the first year I coached youth football, my line was basically a bunch of little skilled players, okay? I didn't have no big guys. I think the biggest guy I had on the line for my 9U team that I coached, the very first year I coached, I think the biggest kid may have been 101, 102 pounds. Small, right? And I actually put that kid as my center. You know, in any other circumstance, he would have probably been my tight end or something like that. But if you got a small size team, the principles don't change. Focus on making your kids really good at fundamentally blocking, okay, guys? You know, because once you make them really good at fundamentally blocking, then you'll be able to start implementing double teams if you got that blocking rule set in place. You know, like I said, mine is gap down backer, right? Yours may be just drive block, head on, you know, head on head, meaning you're gonna drive block the dude right in front of you, okay? Helmet to helmet. That I hear a lot of coaches call it. I don't like helmet to helmet now. I like just head on head, which means you're gonna block the dude right in front of you. That's fine too, whatever works for you. I like gap down backer. And you teach your kids how to do that, and then once you play teams that may have a little bit more size, a little more talent, or may have a stud at defensive end or linebacker, what you want to do is teach double teams. teach your kids how to read the defense. This is where good coaching comes into play, guys. This is where you have to become a really good coach at teaching your kids and increasing their IQ of the game on the field. Okay, guys. You may have to have your kids double team a kid, but if your players know how to fundamentally block, it's going to be a whole lot easier for them to effectively block that one stud, one or two studs on defense, opposed to most of your team not knowing how to block even an average player on the team. So, if you got a small team, guys, double down on making them very fundamentally sound with blocking, hand placement, and also make sure, you have a good offense that complements the skill set of your players, guys. I use the beast formation. Whether I got a small line, a big line, it don't matter, because it's so many blockers up front. I have 7 blockers on the play side that I'm running to, guys. Feel free to download my beast formation playbook. It's in the description box below. That's free to you guys. But nevertheless, guys, no matter what your scheme is, make sure your scheme complements your kids, complements your line. But I don't care if you're running spread, gun, power, single wing, double wing, flex bone. It doesn't matter. If you teach your kids how to fundamentally block, and I don't know if you can tell I'm passionate about blocking. If you teach your kids how to fundamentally block, you're going to have a better season than you would if your team was garbage at blocking. It's that simple, guys. It's that simple. So that's it with this video, guys. I want to just make this short and sweet and just really hit home on how important blocking is. I don't care if you're running the beast formation. I don't care if you're running spread, 3x1s, 2x1s, deuces, jet. I don't care what you're running. If you got a bad offensive line, it's going to hurt your team. It's going to hurt your offensive performance, guys. All right. So that's it with this video. Again, guys, don't forget to check out my free training, guys, on how I average 35 points per game, where I go more in depth with my framework of how I set my team up for success to be the very best at what they do, and how we broke records in our league, a 40-year record in our league with putting up 72 points in our championship game that we won. All right, guys, that's it. If you got any questions, comments, leave them below, guys. I try to get to you guys' comments. I try to set a time aside to get to your comments. So, guys, if I don't get to you right away, bear with me. I'm going to get to you. I promise you that, guys. All right, this is Coach Tim with another video. Remember, guys, win more, score more, beast out. Peace.